Hi, can you just put me through to parliamentary travel? The first time in a long time, actually, parliamentary travel forgot to change the car from Hamilton to Auckland, so we end up with a nice small car. First world problem, eh? Well, what the government went with was actually 880 police, but at a cost of 388 billion. You know, whether it encourages people to go back to work or not, I'm not too sure, but it certainly would encourage a level of financial independence, i.e. you want to buy whatever you want, go ahead, but you've got to get your own job first. So one of the great challenges of regional economic development is creating economic diversity. So we're not at the mercy of the weather, exchange rates and commodity prices. Look how green it is out here. No wonder this is such a wealthy region. Well, the real grunt of the New Zealand economy is the dairy industry. It's really good. Supposed to wear a tie to these meetings. You've got to look like a politician.
I'm going to say it right here, right now, Stuart, that there is no way that the current government would have been increasing the police resource without the excellent work that you have been doing. I invite you now to address the audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. I was actually in Ashburton last night addressing exactly the same issue, and in Timaru yesterday lunchtime addressing exactly this issue. This isn't the bad news. There's no crime here. You don't need more police. Absolutely. It's like Napier, the Art Deco fruit bowl wine country on the sunshine. What, do I need to say any more? On the East Coast. Right. But you scratch the surface, and there's a lot more going on than you see when you drive through. And what you've got to make sure you do is really convince the top cops in this region that you need not only what should be here, but what needs to be here to keep your community safe. And what I can promise you, and I will promise you, if I'm police minister on the 24th of September, it might take me a week to sort a couple of things out, we will implement our 1,000 police, and and the main driver will be community policing. You get a feel for the sort of concerns these people have in the community. They're not asking for anything that I think is unreasonable in any way, shape or form. You know, it's a really important part of the role of an MP, is getting out there and getting feedback from these sorts of communities. Absolutely love it.
I'm from the Naia's office.
Oh, kia ora.
But you've got the floor, and they're warmed up for questions, and then you're out.
Awesome, thanks for
So welcome to Huntly. There's lots to talk about. We thought the format firstly would be to ask our kaumata to open our hui with a prayer, and then give you some time to speak, and then Brooke Loader, she'll summarise after the meeting some of the things that have been said from the floor.
Because P makes people really irrational, and that makes cops worried about going out there as the sole officer and knocking on the door, especially if it's to do with burglary, because a lot of this increase in burglary we're seeing is actually to fund the P.
Crime has increased, but the sheer ferocity of the crime has increased. I don't believe anybody should run the risk of not going home to their kids, their wife, their husband.
I'd hate to see a day where they move from stab-proof vests to bulletproof vests. But what I am saying is, you know, when I talked about the single bloke knocking on the door investigating a robbery and there's a P person there, it's almost at a stage now where you need 2 officers to go to every call out, just for a little bit of support.
Just before the last election, I had a business here in town, and we were broken into, and the police sergeant came and told my husband and I that the police no longer would be responding to burglary.
Yep, so there's a number of stories that I have heard of police saying we're not going to attend burglaries, or we're not going to attend road crashes unless there's been an injury, or or don't worry about calling us because we're just too busy. And the thing that happens is Kiwis then stop reporting incidents to police. So the stats go down and the police say we're doing a fantastic job, look at crime going down. Well, crime hasn't gone down. It's just that our confidence in the police's ability to solve that has disappeared, so we don't bother.
Because there's a lack of action or seem to be a lack of action from the police and some of them are repeat offenders. Whānau are taking it into their hand to go and give them a counselling session and stuff like that. And that is happening. And one day it's probably going to go too far.
And violence really is not the answer. So it's back to, I think, our original premise. We need to have these community cops on the ground preventing crime.
And my dad was a community police officer, so a lot of these things that Stuart was talking about kind of spoke to the real heart of me, because the things that are important to me are things like safety, like family, and like not just the community, like you guys here today, but also community development.
I think someone's got to take responsibility for it.
For these young kids?
Yeah, in some way, someone's got to have responsibility for the children, or the children be responsible.
As I've said, this is the heart and soul of New Zealand. These are people who have taken an hour and a half out of their day on a Friday afternoon to come along and voice their concerns about a very real issue in their community. And I love these meetings. Mighty Waikato. How high it comes. It's obviously been high just recently. Then we need to take a look at this.
That'd be wonderful.
Oh well, I've got your number now, so.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. And he said something similar, because there's been like problems in the CBD in Hamilton, and they're saying there's just there's no police presence there, and that if that's when it happens in the first place, you see one car, it's not going to happen kind of thing, and it's,
It doesn't take much.
Occupational hazard for us, really.
My last meal was in the Corrie Club this morning.
oh no!
And so I think as we leave this meeting, Ron and I are going to stop it.
Oh my God, yeah, because otherwise you'll start talking gibberish and we can't have that.
Well, no one talks gibberish anyway, so people probably won't be able to tell the difference.
That's the big day. The kids were up very early for it, and we were on the road at Manor Poppers, and we left bang on 7:30. And then we got on the plane and went down.
Oh, fantastic.
And the kids had such a good time in the plane. Ella got to hand out the lollies.
Oh, cool.
I got two lollies and one biscuit.
Oh, well done, Ella. Hey, we've just arrived at where we're supposed to be. But
Lots of love. Good luck.
thank you, lots of love too.
The crime rate has started going up in those communities. Barely a week goes by now where you can't open up the local newspaper and hear about a dairy that's been robbed.
Sits right in the middle of the notorious Melville Park, and I'm often there at night teaching. And I know the value of the community constable. We used to have Bill Taylor's cell phone number, and if we had problems we could ring him. Now when things are going on, I have to phone the police. I get somebody in Auckland who then wants me to describe where I am, and 20 minutes later the kid's gone.
And just wait there for the persons to be killed.
Yeah,
and
well,
then they come over there. They always ask on the phone, the person has got weapon? Are they hitting someone?
exactly.
Yes.
So do we want a situation where you've got to say you've got a gun, or worse, and this is my concern, is people will start carrying guns, or shop owners will start carrying guns, and the community will start undertaking vigilante action. They're committed to the force, they love their communities, but they've just had enough.
So I used to be the sergeant in charge of the North Hamilton Community Policing Centre. So I had a lot to do with the Northern guys, Billy Tarver at North at Melbourne and everything else. 2014, they centralised. So they took the prevention guys from out in the areas, pulled them into the central city to be utilised as reactive staff as well, because they couldn't attend all the crime. So that's not too good when you've got young officers of 5 years service who want to leave already. So you've lost control.
Can I ask you, mate, if police were resourcing up to that 1,000 or 1,165, do you think it would stem the flow of senior experienced officers from leaving?
You've got a lot of inquiry and detectives and that they're all burning out as well, because they've got stacks of inquiry files like that they're trying to get through, and every time they get through 5, they've got another 15 that arrive.
And it was some kids from that school who basically burgled their house, and this teenage girl saw people at her school wearing her clothes, and the whole time they couldn't get the police to basically solve that crime. But I see a lot of people, particularly young people, and they're disconnected. They're either disconnected from their family, or they're disconnected from the iwi, or they're disconnected in whatever way. And when people are disconnected, when people are lost, you can see it in their eyes, and you've seen when they're lost, they hurt themselves and they hurt others. And for me, that's the key. It's that sense of community.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, as soon as I had that,
When are we doing our first thing?
We're just going to quickly head to a trade union centre where Andrew is with the young labour exec from the country. Then we're heading home down to Napier.
Starting route to 34 Harwood Street.
Oh yeah.
How do we know that?
Yeah.
Now these are the really good, committed, hard-working young people who have taken their interest in politics through to activism. These are the guys that are going to win us the election. They make it work and they connect in a way that, that an old fella like me struggles with. It's the end of a long day. No, it's not. It's the end of the formal part of the day. Now we've just got 4 hours driving home.